I know it's horrible. And I count it.
And then Heidi, could you please let me know when it's 2 o'clock? Thank you.
What's up, Jeff?
It is now 1 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started. We're thrilled that you're joining us today to learn about the Construction Craft Laborers Apprenticeship Program. We are honored to have Mr. Ronnie Griffin with us today. Mr. Griffin is the president of the Laborers Local 110. Mr. Griffin is going to start telling us all about his apprenticeship training program in just a minute, but first, we have several people from North and South Tech joining us, and I'd like for them to introduce themselves. We'll start with Ms. Bengali.
Hi, my name's Heidi Bengali, and I am the Technology Specialist Instructor at both North and South Technical High Schools.
Mr. Meyer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dustin Meyer. I am the flooring instructor at South Technical High School.
And Mr. Hannikin. You are on mute.
I'm sorry. Mr. Hannikin at North Technical High School, construction trades instructor.
Okay, Mr. Petrus.
Mr. Petrus at South Technical High School. I'm the construction trades teacher.
Mr. Lane.
Yes, my name is Byron Lane. I am the carpentry instructor at North Tech High School.
Mr. Chandler.
Hey, I'm Jeff Chandler, counselor at South Technical High School.
And last but not least, Mr. Hoyman.
My name is Paul Hoyman, and I am the construction and outdoor maintenance teacher at South Technical High School.
Okay, thanks to all of you for joining us today. And I am Sally Defani, Administrator of Partnerships for Special School District. Mr. Griffin is going to start his presentation in just a second, but I would encourage any student participating to please think of questions for Mr. Griffin and type them into the chat feature on YouTube, and we will monitor those questions and answer them as they come in. Okay, so I think we're ready to go ahead and get started. Mr. Griffin, if you would like to go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ronnie Griffin. I am the president of Laborers Local 110. Local 110 Laborers are the largest laborer union in the St. Louis metropolitan area. We represent some 2,500 active members and another 300 to 400 retirees. My international union, LIUNA, Laborers International Union of North America, we represent some 600,000 laborers in the United States and Canada. As to my experience, I'm a 42-year laborer. I started right out of high school working in the construction trades, worked my way through various disciplines in the industry. And I think it's safe to say that the laborers is probably one of the easiest trades to get in with very few requirements. High school diploma, age 18, we require, or we suggest you have a driver's license because that can come in handy in the industry. So I'm sure with all the expertise and the instructors that you have, you already know what an apprenticeship is, but just for the sake of going through it and due diligence, an apprenticeship is a formal contract between the employer and the employee, during which time workers learn a trade. Union construction apprenticeships usually last between 3 to 5 years. Apprenticeship wages are usually at 50% of a journeyman's or an experienced worker's wage. Apprenticeships are paid on an increasing scale over time. You start off at a scale, and as you go through your apprenticeship, it increases throughout your apprenticeship. Again, the requirements, general requirements for apprenticeship, a minimum age 18 years old, high school diploma or an equivalent. Some require math keys, work keys, pass and improve substance abuse program, reliable transportation, dependable workers, and the ability to start early in the trades. Going on, what do laborers do? So you've heard the term construction laborers. It's a broad brush term when you hear the term laborer, but we are laborers of the true sense of the word. I like to say, if it's hard, if it's dirty, if it's wet, if it's cold, if it's difficult to do, those are the job assignments usually assigned to the laborers. I will also tell you, in most every case, not exactly all, but in most cases on a new construction project, laborers are the first craft on the job. We are typically the most craft sought throughout the job, and we are usually the last craft to leave a project. Laborers check grade on highways. So what is grade checking? Well, if you've driven the highways, you know when water accumulates, it doesn't all accumulate in the middle or just lay flat on the surfaces in some cases. But someone has to figure out how to make that water grade off the road. This is a grade checker. Pretty high sought after experience in the field. Grade checkers do well as far as making money, and they usually work on a continuous basis. We also do excavations and backfilling. We place concrete, asphalt. We install farms, sewer lines, water lines. We do demolition. We do abatement, asbestos, lead, rad remediation. We do explosive blasting. I was a blaster in the industry for 17 years. And most people don't know that, but laborers do explosive blasting. We do rock drilling. Of course, that goes along with the blasting. We also do mining. A lot of laborers are employed in the mining industry throughout the state. Very few lay people are aware of this because the operations go on and you don't know anything about it. A lot of them are underground or in an area where most people aren't populated. So we do roads and bridges and parking lots and parking garages. We do hoisting, rigging, and signaling of cranes to carry materials from place to place. We run skid steer loaders on occasion, usually in a jurisdiction that goes along with the type of work that we do. We run lulls, a rubber tired fart truck, in other words, usually used in the masonry. And yes, we do work with bricklayers in the masonry field. I brought a couple of videos that I thought you'd all be interested in because I didn't think you'd want to hear me talk throughout this presentation. These are individuals that actually work in the industry and not unlike you. They graduated high school. Both of them, probably the two videos that we have, went to do work in other fields and found it not rewarding and not paying enough. And then they found their way to the laborers. And I'll let them tell you their story. And if you want to cue video number 1, we can go ahead.
Before I became into laboring, I was working at Sunship Automotive Group as a receptionist, not making that much money, $10 an hour, struggling to see how I was going to pay my next bill and where it's going to come from. And I knew I wanted better. So I was just like, what can I do to get this opportunity? So I found out about this job at a job fair. I seen a sign that said laborers, and it said what they make annually a year, and it was a female standing there. And I asked her, what is laborers? And she said, well, we need more females in the field. She explained the job title to me, what they do, and she said, I got good news. We have a local here, and we have the apprenticeship school here, where she walked me over to the table where I met Ronnie Griffin. I met Josh Wright, head of those Local 110 and the apprenticeship program. A person want to be like, okay, I can, take care of myself. I don't have to depend on nobody else. I don't have to wait on anybody else. So I work hard. I come to work every day. And I know how I feel to go home now. You be tired, but guess what? You're tired for the right reason. You put the work in, you make the decent pay, and everything works out, and the benefits, again, are awesome. I started in the trade in June of 2018. In July of 2018, after I got my first couple big checks, my mother never been on an airplane. So I bought her a plane ticket with me, my brother's birthday, and my dad, and I took them down to Texas, San Antonio, Texas. My mom was so nervous. So she was kind of freaking out, but it was cute because I was like, Mom, just calm down because I fly all the time. So just to see her expression and happy, and I paid for everything, and they didn't have to pay for nothing. When I took them to Texas, I covered things there too, and it just made me feel good. Like, you know, they're getting experience that I gave them, and I'm happy to do it. You know, it's like, I'm happy you asked that question. You took me back 2 years.
And we can cue video number 2, please.
My name is Aaron from Futrail, and I came into the laborers through the blood program. I went through Slate looking for a job, and you know, I was roughing it out here, and you know, making $11, $12 an hour, and you know, I think that the blood program is one of the best things that ever happened. Really, I ain't gonna sit here and fake it. You know, it was hard work and dedication, and you know, I mean, I was doing that anyway. I was struggling out here, you know, so when I put my mind to it and did the things that really my heart and my desires wanted to chase after, and this was one of those things, construction laborer. I'm glad to be part of 110, and you know, I did everything I could to make this thing better for me, make it successful, make my life, you know, a little bit more comfortable than it was before.
And what would you tell people that might be trying to seek employment in a job of this nature?
I would tell them that it ain't a job for everybody. That's one thing. It's hard work. It's dedication. It's getting up when you don't feel like getting up. It's going when you don't feel like going no more. So, you know, if you about that kind of life, if you know what I'm saying, I ain't nothing but 145 pounds. I'm out here every day, you know what I'm saying, digging tunnels and digging concrete, drilling, doing everything that I got to do to make a living for me and my family. And you could do it too, if that's what you're willing to do. Now, if you a slacker and you know that you ain't got it all together and you ain't ready to work hard and you want to kick back and collect some unemployment, then this ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say to anybody trying to get in.
Thank you very much. I
Mr.
brought
Griffin,
those 2 videos. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go. Well, I just wanted to mention when you reach maybe a stopping point, we do have some questions coming in from the students.
Well, let's take those now.
Okay, thank you. Well, the first one is, I guess this is kind of a personal question. Is the income that you started out with out of high school different from what they pay now for students coming out of high school?
The industry that I ended up in was in mining first, and yet the laborers today as an apprentice will make $17.04 an hour. I was making less than $15 an hour back then. And throughout my career, of course, you know, through contract negotiations, because we are a union, we negotiate contracts. We tend to negotiate wages up, not down. Okay, so yeah, over time, you know, my wages kept going up. So the answer to your question is this: at $17 an hour out of high school, you can actually make more than I started off making. The key to making decent wages for the year is the hours that you put in. You can make $50 an hour, but if you don't work very many hours, you don't have very much money. So it's a matter of putting the hours in. Next question.
Okay. Another student is asking if you tend to have a lot of injuries in your mining jobs.
Mining is, it is a pretty dangerous industry, but construction itself is a dangerous industry. We have safety programs. I mean, we train, we put emphasis on safety. We have experienced individuals on the job sites. The vast majority of construction sites dedicate personnel to safety, training and meetings on a regular basis, just to keep your mind on your job and how dangerous it can be. I was a miner's representative for some years in the mining industry, meaning that Made sure that the workers that worked on that job site had all the safety training and materials, personal protective equipment that they needed. And that was sanctioned by the Mine Safety and Health Administration, MSHA, from the federal government, the federal mandate to have safety requirements. And I saw to it that contractors are here today.
Okay, thank you. If I wanted to become a commercial carpenter for a union, which program or career path would be best?
So in programs, and I'm sure all your instructors and all the other tradespeople that have been here have told you this, if you get in the union construction trades, you really can't go wrong there because all these trades offer good pay, great benefits, and depending on how you learn your craft and apply your craft, longevity. The industry needs young individuals. And the labor is 47 years old is the average age of a laborer in the United States. And that's a pretty old age considering if you start working in most of these contracts that we have, you start working at age 18, you actually can retire at age 48 with full benefits, depending on the hours that you work. Okay.
Okay, and then there's one question, one more for now. Do most of the workers you get come from programs like we have at North and South Tech?
I've prided myself on steering a lot of individuals to this program. As a matter of fact, when you go back to the day when I first got in, there were no programs like this, but the same effect was there. Somebody knew somebody who knew somebody and steered them in this direction. I've been in this position now for 10 years with an emphasis on going out and making outreach to the community, particularly underserved individuals, to try to steer them in this direction. It is very important that you apply yourself at school with all the curriculum that they have to offer. When I was in high school, I used to say to myself, well, I don't know where this will apply in my life. And after graduating and getting into this field, I see that just about everything we were taught in school, you can apply in this industry and it helps rather than hurts you.
Okay, that's great. So that's all the student questions for now. So I don't know if you want to continue with your presentation. And
well, so we'll go on, and we started with wages. Of course, our apprenticeship program is similar to the other trades. And I probably should back up first and tell you how to get into the laborers. So you can go to our training center in High Hill, Missouri, and you can fill out an application, and they will give you a list of contractors that we have contracts with. And you can solicit those contractors for what's called a letter of intent to hire. I believe most trades, if not all union trades here in the St. Louis metropolitan, require a letter of intent to hire. That means that you go, you seek out a contractor agrees to hire you, depending on the craft. He will submit that letter of intent to hire to our training center, and then you take it there to go and get your test to apply for your apprenticeship. That's one way. Another way is we offer the opportunity at some time to come in and actually get onto our out of work list. Like I told you, we represent some 2,500 laborers that are already members, but we allow general public to come in as long as we're not overrun to put their name on our out of work list. So when we are out of membership and contractors call us because we are a referral hall, then we can put those individuals who are not in the union yet in front of those contractors and hope to get a letter of intent that way to hire. And at that point, we will walk you through the process of your application for the apprenticeship program, and then we'll put you on the job and go from there. And I suppose most trades, if not all, have already told you in the apprenticeship program, you sign up and you go to work for your contractor immediately. Like I told you earlier, we're one of the easiest crafts to get into. Yes, you can walk right out of high school, and if the opportunity is there, sign up as an apprentice and start working that day. Not knowing anything, they'll put you with a qualified journeyman or several journeymen on that job site and try to show you what it is that they're trying to do. Now, don't get me wrong, they're not going to hold you by the hand, and they're not going to say, put this round peg in this square hole, but you're going to have to be able to adapt, see what's going on, and catch on as quickly as possible. It's kind of like throwing you in the fire, because these jobs are ongoing. They're moving as you come onto the job. You'll work for your contractor 60 to 90 days or so, depending on the schedule and apprenticeship program. And then you'll take your first week of training. The training is at our training facility located in High Hill, Missouri. And we'll show you some flyers on that here going along so you can get the address and everything. You'll train for 5 days at our facility there. On campus, we have cabins for people to stay. Like I said, it's a 5-day training. But room and board is free, 3 square meals a day, free, and paid transportation costs from your residence to the training center and back once you complete the first week of classes. And then you go back to your contractor and go to work. Not unlike the rest of the apprenticeship programs, you're required to have 4,000 working hours and some 367 classroom hours to graduate from the apprenticeship program to the journeyman. But after your first 500 hours worked is when you'll get your first wage increase from 1704 to 1923. Well, today's wages is 2024, to be honest with you. And then your third term is 23.85, fourth term is 27.26, fifth term is $30.66, and journeyman level today is $34.07. And I'll stop right there and say, well, all the other people told us that they make way more money than that. That's true. Most of the other crafts pay more to their apprenticeship, and their journey scale is higher than the laborers. But what you did hear me say in the beginning, we are usually the first craft on the job. We are the most craft sought after throughout the construction project, and we're usually the last craft to leave, which translate into hours. Just keep that in mind. The hours are important. Laborers tend to put in more hours than any craft out there in the construction industry. So we do pretty well at the lower wages that we have. Now, there are some construction jobs for laborers that pay higher wages for specialty work, but all that comes about from learning and being attentive on the job. The more qualifications you have, the more crafts you learn, the more employable you are. Any questions?
There are no more questions in the chat. I encourage our students to go ahead and type any questions they have. Do our instructors have any questions at this point?
Any questions? You guys all know me. You probably heard this 100 times. But going on the wage aspect, so we talked about starting wages at 1704. That's just what your wage package is. We also, when you become an apprentice, we also offer the insurance to you as well. You get the full benefits of insurance as a journeyman labor. And today's wages, welfare is $8.25. That's not taken off your 1704. That's a part of your total package for the total worth of a labor. After 275 hours worked, you, your legal spouse, all your legal children under the age of 26 living in your household are also covered under that insurance. We also start you with a pension for your retirement. Today's wages, $7 an hour off your total package, go towards your pension in retirement. And a 30-year pension, I suppose you could draw down around $2,500 a month easily, depending on the hours that you work. Your hours are directly tied to your pension. The BUD program. Can you put that slide up for me, or would you rather we wait and do all the slides, or the slides flyers last? We can do that, but I wanted to make sure they got the information for the address for BUD. Learning about the building trades. The BUD program, and it covers all the trades, is a program that was started back in 2014, mainly by the carpenters. I know Mr. John Gall was a key instrument in getting this program started. And BUD stands for Building Union Diversity. As the young man said on the video, through the St. Louis Agency and Employment, SLATE, in downtown St. Louis, you go in and apply for the BUD program. The BUD program puts you in front of the trades for 5 weeks, 5 straight weeks of visiting different trade apprenticeship programs to give you an idea of what the construction industry is all about and the different trades thereof. BUD's graduation success rate is around 75 to 80% placement throughout the years. I participated with them since its inception. And that's another place, one of the questions was that I asked about where do you get people from programs like this, that we also get people from. After going through 5 weeks of the program, a week with the carpenters, a week with the laborers, electricians, plumbers, pipe fitters, or whoever they have on the schedule, you graduate. On graduation day, construction contractors are brought in to your graduation where they have one-on-ones with the graduates from the program with the expectation of hiring them throughout this program. And some people have gotten hired right on graduation day. There's been 1 or 2 that gotten hired while the program was still going on. And I know I've helped place several after they graduated. Let's get the apprenticeship information up, please, if you don't mind. The next slide. This is the Construction Craft Training Program. However, today it's known as the Laborers and Contractors Training Center. This is the address in High Hill, Missouri, and you can see the telephone number there as well. You want to call before you make a visit there because I don't know what their COVID protocol is. Also, I encourage you to go to the site, www.labors@highhill.org, for more information. And the next slide, please. Yes. Also, this is LIUNA, Laborers International Union of North America, Bills, Missouri. Work, training, and opportunities. Start your career with LIUNA. If you go to this website, they have an application for you to fill out, your location and what you desire to do in the industry as a laborer. That information is then sent to the various locals in the areas that you live, and business managers from those locals will give you a call back, and then they can guide you through how to get on their out of work list and so forth. Thank you. For slides. Any questions?
We do have one more question, Mr. Griffin. So I think this is in response to one of the videos where the young man was talking about how hard the work was, and that it's, you really need to put forth the effort every day. So this student is asking, in terms of because of that, do you sometimes see employees or union members leave the union?
There's various reasons why people leave the union. As a matter of fact, it is an issue for me when individuals are given that opportunity. It's a rigorous schedule if you want to succeed in this industry. It's very rigorous because we typically work early hours, especially in the summertime. We're up. I got up this morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm a union official. I don't even work in the field anymore. Most laborers probably don't get up that area, but most jobs start in the summertime at 6 a.m. And then there's shift work as well, where you may be on a shift, 5 until whenever, and 3 o'clock in the morning till whenever. So it's very rigorous. You got to look at it like a football team. If there's 11 players on the offense, they can't afford to miss one, the play won't work. So when they have you scheduled to work, you have to be there. Repetition. Some people don't like repetition, but once a laborer hones his skills, it's pretty much repetitious work. We do the same things over and over and over and over again. If it's in mining, at some point, it's the same routine over again. Some people don't like that. And then some people get that first check or two and wake up on a cold Monday morning and they still have $300 or $600 in their pocket, and they think, I really don't feel like getting up today. And that it happens. And it's very disappointing to me when I go out and recruit and figure, okay, we've added one more to the industry, only to find out a week or two later that that person just decided to end that career.
I have a question. So do the students, if they really have an interest in masonry, or they really are interested in learning about the mining types of jobs, how much choice goes into their decision as they apply in terms of where they're placed?
So I would say they don't get a lot of choices. As an industry, laborers, we do all that work. And like I said, the more qualifications you have, the more likely you are to work. So if you're a mason tender, hod carrier, they may put you on an asphalt crew because you want to go where the work is. If masonry is not working, you go to asphalt. If asphalt's not working, you go to concrete. You go to demolition. You go to abatement. You go to mining. Some of these skills or some of these particular jobs aren't for everyone. Mining's a tough job. But miners will tell you that job's not as tough as a hod carrier, right? And here you are making the same money. So, and keep in mind, building construction projects, labor may be simply assigned to cleaning up construction debris. And some people can't take that. So yeah, physical fitness is a key. You should be physically fit, but particularly if you've been in athletics of any type, you should be able to swing it. I've seen candidates come in my own mind who I thought may not make it, but to my surprise, they have.
Can you mention to our students that are listening the opportunities for young ladies in this field?
And as you saw in the video, I did that purposely. I brought that video in specifically to show the young ladies in your classes that the industry is wide open for females. As a matter of fact, some of our females do better than some of the males, simply because of their work ethic and attention to details. I'm very proud of the young women that I had anything to do with getting in this industry and that are still here today. Ms. Simpson was one of them, but I have a few to brag on, and I try to do everything I can to encourage them and help them through. And I guess that's another thing I ought to point out myself personally as a business agent. I'm here to help you through this process, to try to help you deal with any issues and questions that you may have, because the idea is to keep you in the industry because it's very rewarding and you can spend your career here. A lot of laborers, and I'm sure in the other crafts as well, go on to be foremen, superintendents, and even own their own companies.
Okay. Any other questions so far? There's no other student questions. Instructors, any comments, questions for Mr. Griffin?
So again, seeing no questions, I encourage everyone, and in my presentation, and of course with along with Bud, I encourage you to pursue any of these union trades. Any of them are willing to accept you, and you simply can't go wrong. I'm biased because I'm a laborer, and again, I think this is one of the easier crafts to get into. That doesn't take anything away from the other crafts. They try to put you on a solid footing with the work keys so that when you come into the industry, you're well equipped. As a laborer, you know, a lot of our work is mundane, but you will learn your craft as you go along. And we assist all the other trades in the work that they do on the job sites. And laborers learn a lot from the carpenters. I'm giving you guys kudos. We learn a lot from the carpenters, just working with them and tending them. So, and we do the same with the other crafts as well. We learn an awful lot from the other trades. We think tradesmen like carpenters, plumbers, electricians should focus on what their trade does, and it gives us the opportunity to keep a job site clean and safe so that they can do that. And apparently the industry seems to think there's value in that.
Absolutely. So I would encourage any students participating today, if you are interested in this opportunity, you can reach out directly to the construction craft laborers, or you can also reach out to your instructor and, ask questions of him and get more information. And we are able to connect you with Mr. Griffin or with the personnel at the laborers facility in High Hill too. Okay, so I think that was probably going to wrap up this session. Mr. Griffin, we can't thank you enough for joining us today.
My
Thank
pleasure.
you. Thank you very much. And for the students, thank you. And to our instructors, thanks for being here. Okay, everyone take care and have a good evening.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.